Good afternoon, Cross Timbers, and welcome to the first installment of the Texan News Scoop, Texan TV News Week in Review news show. Here, we'll look at the week's top stories on campus, the region, and beyond. My name is Bethany Kyle, and it is October 3rd, 2014. Here are this week's top stories. In campus news, the biggest news of the week comes from Tarleton's most secretive and to many most interesting organization.
The Purple Pooh is a spirit organization on campus comprised of 10 men, the 10 Tarleton Peppers, and 10 women, the 10 Tarleton Sisters. The Pooh are known for their wild costumes, high-pitched disguised voices, and bringing the spirit of Tarleton to events and campus life. However, the Pooh have voiced that they feel the traditions on campus, such as not walking on the grass and seal, imitating the Pooh costumes, and leaving the Tuesday morning signs up on campus, are not being respected and have gone on strike. The strike began Tuesday evening with the video posted to Tarleton's Office of Student Engagement Facebook page, where the Pooh announced to students that their strike had begun.
This message is brought to you by the Purple Pooh. Respect tradition! I'm mad at you! I'm mad at all of you! Pooh on strike! Pooh on strike!
Robert Nemo, Purple Pooh advisor, said the group is on strike from hanging signs and possibly attending as many events. Students came to campus Wednesday morning to see chalk writing on the campus covering the sidewalks with hashtag Pooh on strike, hashtag respect tradition, and similar ideas. The idea has caught on across campus, and many students are using the hashtags on their personal social media accounts, as well as writing with chalk on the sidewalks also. Students are worried that the strike will affect homecoming, but Nemo reassured Texan News that they will be out at homecoming events.
We will have to see on Tuesday morning if the Pooh have decided to hang their signs and end the strike. Students and faculty received an email on Wednesday notifying them that the annual security report and annual fire safety reports have been posted to the Tarleton website. The security report includes information on crimes reportable by the Clery Act. One statistic that stood out in this year's Clery Act is the rise in sexual assaults reported on campus. The number has gone from 0 in 2011, 3 in 2012, and has gone up to 9 in 2013. Tarleton Police Chief Al Alcon said that he thinks this is because more people are willing to report sexual assaults, and organizations and events such as Duck Camp are increasing awareness for the issue through their training. In other campus news, Tarleton is in full homecoming mode. Homecoming week will kick off on Sunday with the Up in Smoke Homecoming Barbecue Bash and the lighting of the smokestack. The week will follow with the usual homecoming events, launching of the Ducks and Silver Bugle Hunt on Monday, Purple Out Picnic on Tuesday, Yell Contest on Wednesday, Midnight Breakfast on Thursday, and the L.V. Reisinger Memorial Bonfire on Friday. Homecoming wraps up on Saturday with the football game against Texas A&M Kingsville. A full detailed schedule is available on the Tarleton website. Voting for Homecoming King and Queen also opens next week on Texan Sync. The nominees for Queen are Haley Kane, Hillary Ramsch, Mackenzie Marsh, Rachel Vrana, and Shelby Kirk. The nominees for King are Corey Jackson, Josh Simmons, Justin Lukers, Marty Stinson, and Keanu Perez. In regional news, as of Wednesday, Mineral Wells has officially gone into amended Stage 3 water restrictions of their drought contingency plan, according to the city's website. In this policy, all outdoor water use is prohibited. This includes watering lawns, washing vehicles, and filling swimming pools. The only exceptions are water for animals and previously approved construction projects. Fines will be up to $500 per occurrence. CBS DFW reports that the restrictions come from the continually dropping levels at Lake Palapinto, which is now only at 14%. This lake is the main supply of water for Mineral Wells and its 31,000 residents. The Mineral Wells Municipal Water District is looking at other options should the drought continue. These include building a water pipeline, connecting Mineral Wells to Weatherford, tapping into Lake Mineral Wells, or installing a chloride filtration system for the Brazos River. The biggest story in Texas this week, which has also caught the attention of the nation, is the first confirmed case of Ebola in the United States. The Associated Press reports that Thomas Eric Duncan is currently at the Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, Texas, being cared for after being infected with the Ebola virus several weeks ago. Hospital representative confirmed this in a press conference on Tuesday.
Well, the patient's initial visit was 2 days before, when they presented with very nondescript, nonspecific symptoms, And it was not clear that the patient had come from an area where Ebola virus was present. On the second visit, which was Sunday the 28th, that's when the information became more clear, but even then it wasn't completely clear, and it's still evolving. We're getting newer information as each day goes on. Well, I wouldn't say there's no concern. We're certainly going to track all the people who had contact with him, and we're going to watch them and monitor their health. They're wearing water-impermeable gowns. In fact, they're wearing 2 of them because the gowns open in the back, and it's hard to tie them close. So they have one gown that's in the back and the other gown tying in the front. They're wearing gloves, they're wearing surgical masks, and they're wearing eye protection. And they're wearing, because the patient did have diarrhea, they're wearing shoe protection as well. The key to treatment is maintaining adequate volume of fluid in the patient's circulation. When they're having symptoms like vomiting or diarrhea, they can lose fluid, and that can lead to damage to organs. So the key is volume fluid replenishment, maintaining oxygen as needed, and supportive care and treatment of symptoms. There is no more ZMapp available. The supply was used on the 2 previous patients. So that drug is simply not, at this time, even available to anyone in the world.
Duncan was in Liberia, one of the countries hit worst by the epidemic, working at a shipping company, and returned to Dallas on September 20th, becoming ill just a few days later. He went to the hospital but was sent home last week. He returned when the condition became worse. People in contact with Duncan during that time are being closely monitored. Ebola can only be spread if a person comes into close contact with an infected person's bodily fluids, and symptoms can appear as late as 3 weeks after exposure. Liberia has plans to prosecute Duncan, saying he lied on an airport questionnaire when returning home to the United States, saying that he had not come into contact with anyone infected with the illness. It is believed he became ill when he helped a sick pregnant neighbor into a taxi and went with her to get help. The disease has killed 3,300 people and counting in West Africa, and the case in the United States is causing concern for many people here. However, health officials say that they are confident that they can keep the case contained. Today's AP News Minute has the latest on the case, as well as more of the top national and international news.
This is AP News Minute. A Dallas woman who is facing home confinement along with relatives after a man infected with Ebola stayed at the apartment says she's still waiting for health officials to collect bed sheets and towels used by the infected man. A suburban Denver school board under fire for proposing that some school district U.S. history classes be designed to promote patriotism is not backing off its original plan. In a nod to protesters, however, the board voted to include students, parents, and administrators in its curriculum reviews. British Prime Minister David Cameron has made a surprise visit to Afghanistan to support the country's newly sworn-in president, Ashraf Ghani Ahmadzai. Afghanistan's new leader was sworn in on Monday. Mike Moustakas led off the 11th inning with a home run, lifting the Kansas City Royals to a 3-2 victory over the Los Angeles Angels in Game 1 of their AL Division Series Thursday, and the Baltimore Orioles routed the Detroit Tigers in their opening game 12-3. Ned Barker, the Associated Press, with AP News Minute.
This has been a production of the Texan News Scoop, a product of the Texan News Service from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas. Tune into Northland Cable Channel 9 on weekdays at 12:30 for each day's top stories, and Wednesdays at 1 for the week's top stories in Spanish. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website at www.texannews.net for all of your latest local, state, national, and international news, as well as all of your entertainment and sports updates, and the live stream of Texan TV news. Tune in again next Friday for next week's top stories in review. Also, we have a newspaper coming out on Monday, so keep an eye out on campus for the paper on newsstands. Today's broadcast was produced by Jordan Palmer, Alejandra Araguin, Katie Tonkin, and Asia Branson. I am Bethany Kyle. Have a wonderful weekend, Tarleton Texans.